The goal here is to show you how to texture primitives, and in this example also how to give them two completely different colors using masks. And generally creating a mask from irregular bumps like these is complicated to do. So here, what we're going to do is mask all these elements and start from a new shape. So here, for example, we're going to make a box. Here, at first, we have an element that needs to be validated in order to access the tools. And with this button, we'll be able to add an additional texture, this time on the opacity. I'm going to look for a photo. For example, we'll take this texture here, and we have the option to go back to it and change the scale. If needed, you can also change the projection mode. And by unchecking this box, you can adjust the values for X and Y independently. So let's imagine, for example, that we just want to keep this texture. Next, you can redefine the quality using multi-resolution by coming here and clicking the subdivide button. But be careful. Don't set the value too high, because otherwise it will be difficult for your iPad to handle. We'll stop here, and this time I'm going to go to the winter section and actually scroll down to here, reproject vertex, and we'll make sure to check that it's really a reprojection in terms of opacity and the masked area. Then you tap on it to be able to reproject, and this is the result you get, which means that in the end, if you use one of the mask tools, you actually have a mask that appears, which you can also invert. So thanks to this, you can, for example, make use of the operation button here and act on the inflation either positively or negatively depending on your specific needs. And if you happen to be working on the wrong area, then you just invert and then redo the operation, either in one direction or possibly in the other. And once you have the desired result in terms of inflation, you can apply additional smoothing. If needed, you can also invert again to combine both and smooth it again. Once you get the shape you want, all that's left is to color it. And at the very end, we'll remove the masks. In any case, we'll be able to work on completely different areas. So here, for example, we can start with this shade, but let's change it a bit and go with greens, for instance. You can adjust the metallic aspect here, as well as the roughness if you want it to reflect more or less. Then, once you've set the color, you can paint everything. And here you can see that it paints in the areas that were masked. So if I invert, now I can pick another color. Let's go with reds for contrast, for example. And you paint everything, which means you've affected the other area. So that's how you can detect specific areas you want to work on using a texture, allowing you to avoid modeling that shape directly. And after that, you can now erase your mask, and then in this section also remove the texture. And you get the shape here,